Thank you all for joining us for Real Talk with Arlette. This show is about bringing together a diverse group of ladies to exchange ideas and share their experiences on topics that relate to all women. We are wrapping up season 2 and continuing our talk on a subject that has certainly impacted my life, as well as many of the lives of women that are in my circle. More importantly, within my family, just here recently, it has touched home for the third time with my mother. So this topic is very, very important to me. So if you haven't had a chance to watch any of the episodes in season 2, we started off by introducing you to Christina. Christina was just starting her family with her husband when she, by doing a self-breast exam, noticed that she had a lump. And although she had no family history of cancer, she also was in great condition. She did receive the devastating news of a cancer diagnosis. Then we went on to introduce you to Cheryl. Cheryl and her husband were traveling the world, and during one of their vacations, her husband had an accident and found out very, very quickly during their vacation that he had cancer. So Cheryl went from being a world traveler to now becoming a caregiver for her spouse until he passed in his late 40s. Then we went on to introduce you to Vanessa. Vanessa's mother and sister both received a breast cancer diagnosis and later both developed brain cancer. And although Vanessa tested negative for the cancer gene, she chose to make a life-altering decision. And then we also introduced you to a young mother of 2, Kendall. We met Kendall. She shared with us that her daughter took sick one day and she thought she had a stomach bug. And within 48 hours, she had to uproot her family from Louisiana to St. Jude Hospital so that her 12-year-old daughter could get through cancer treatments. So today we're wrapping up season 2. We're going to introduce you to a wonderful organization that provides resources and support for cancer patients. So please help me welcome the Executive Director of the Gift of Life program, Norma Sampson. Norma, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's certainly my blessing. And as a really ambassador for this program, and one of which, as you've just so eloquently and empoweringly expressed the number of people who have been impacted by cancer, this is my passion, a commitment, and one of which I feel so fortunate to be able to help women and men who are medically underserved and desperately need healthcare and assistance throughout their cancer journey.
Well, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. I know that my mother was a part of your program as well. I think she did some volunteer work. So why don't we get started and you give us a little bit of history of the Gift of Life program.
Thank you. Our program started about 30 years ago. Regina Rogers is the founder and chair. Her mother, who had been, well, their entire family had been philanthropically involved in Southeast Texas and really in more states as well. Her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she, as she was going through her treatment, typical of them, I mean, the Rogers philosophy, it was there before the grace of God go I. Her mom could afford health insurance, but when she saw so many other women who perhaps weren't so fortunate, she then expressed to her daughter, you know, we need to do something to help women who can't afford these life-saving screenings.
Right.
So when her mom later, well, she succumbed later to a stroke, and there were other problems that she had with that. But during that process, after she had had a stroke, Regina's dad had also been instrumental in the conception and the establishment of the Julian Ben Rogers Cancer Institute in Beaumont. And Regina surprised her mom she was working with one of the agencies that had helped Baptist with that launch. And they named it the Julie Rogers Free Mammogram Program. Wow. So that was 30 years ago. Regina's vision was to provide 500 screenings for women who couldn't afford health insurance or their deductibles and felt this was great. She wrote some of her friends. She said, let's raise X amount of dollars, provide 500 screenings, and this will last us for a year or two. And it quickly was utilized by women who very much needed this service. And so kind of fast forward to where we are in 2022. And prior to COVID, we were providing more than 2,200 free screening mammograms. And what began as a screening program now has an extensive continuum of care, which we also underwrite and pay at no charge. The breast cancer screenings, diagnostic mammograms, ultrasounds, and biopsies. Then our patient navigators, translators will assist these women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and they get certified through a Medicaid STOP program that pays for their breast cancer treatment. We follow those same federal poverty guidelines. We never wanted to offer a program of which we could ensure there was a treatment at the end for those that had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And so now we find ourselves with more than 40,000 free screenings that have been provided through our program, and more than 260 women whose lives have been extended because of our life-saving services. So from our women's program, we then expanded into a men's program.
You did.
If you can imagine, 15 years ago, people didn't say on television the word breast, much less prostate.
Right.
So we began a men's prostate cancer program. And that was Regina's uncle had passed away with prostate cancer.
Wow.
He had health insurance, but like many men, just didn't get tested, wasn't really that informed of that particular cancer. And it is the second leading cancer for men, second leading cause of death for men. So we began that men's prostate cancer program, and that has now grown to a program that not only do we provide the PSA, the prostate cancer test, but we also offer primary care tests with inclusive of HIV, Hep C, blood pressure, BMI. So it's a comprehensive panel of primary care tests in addition to the PSA, with navigation and doctors that are on site to give consults to go through the results, and navigation to primary care or to a federally qualified clinic to begin that journey if they need any additional testing for the other primary care test. Right. From our program side, we do then pay for the men who have elevated PSAs to go to a private urologist, and we have a managed care contract with those individuals, those physicians, and we pay for them to have a repeat PSA, DRE, and if necessary, to have any pathology. So since COVID, like everyone, our services, we had to kind of get a footing and try to find a way that we still provide these services. And so for our men's program, we're going to be launching them in April. And before, we always did this and screened 650 men in June, but now we're going to align our services more with our women's care. So every month in Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange, we're going to be screening 20 men at the Julian Ben Rogers Cancer Institute at the Baptist Hospital in Orange, and then at the Port Arthur Health Department. So it's going to be a year-long program like our women's breast program, where we again offer those screenings and diagnostic tests year-round. So as we've talked about it, our program is local. All the money raised stays local, and it helps each individuals in these 7 county areas that are medically underserved, that can't afford health insurance or their deductibles.
That's what I was going to point out. I'm glad you mentioned that. So it's not just for those that don't have insurance. There are also some folks that have insurance and simply can't meet the deductibles.
Exactly. Often with labs, you can't really, your insurance won't pay for that, or there's again a high deductible. And the labs that we do, these primary care labs, like for diabetes and cholesterol, at least, again, we can get a baseline and navigate men if they have any elevated outcomes to get the care, compliance, and other areas that will hopefully, allow them to be better stewards of their care. Because I know we all hear it, smoking, drinking, not exercising, all those things certainly are cumulative and putting us at a higher risk. So our education is critical.
Absolutely. thank you for pointing that out, because that was going to be my next thing to talk about. I was just looking at the American Cancer Society's website, and they post statistics from 2021. And oh my gosh, it was so alarming to me. And I mean, I've shared my story with you. You know, cancer is very prevalent in my family, prostate and breast cancer. And it's so ironic because breast cancer is the number one cause of cancer deaths in women, as well as prostate for men. So it's the leading cancer for women, breast, and then prostate. And unfortunately, it's prevalent in my family. So I know what goes on when people receive a cancer diagnosis. And I know that it's a lot involved, both emotionally and mentally and physically. So it's important what you and your team are doing and the resources and support that you guys provide. You don't just give them a free prostate exam or a breast exam. You take it a step further and provide medical consultations and all the other resources and support that they need to get through that. So what a blessing. But just to give statistics from the American Cancer Society's website, an estimated of 1.9 million new cancer cases, 1.9 million. And of those 1.9, 608,570 estimated deaths. That is a lot of deaths. However, the good thing about it is the death rate from cancer has decreased by 31% since its inception from 1991 to 2018. And that's due in large part to the decline, and you said it, the reduction in smoking and the improvements of early detection and treatment. And that is what you guys offer. So thank you for that. That will save 3.2 million lives, 3.2 million fewer cancer deaths. So I sure hope that people go to your website and learn more about the gift of life. I do want to talk a little bit about, you did mention that it's free. There is a vetting process. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm delighted to. I mean, it's we do, and it's good faith when we're doing our intake at the very beginning of our screenings. We ask the ladies that are calling us for our screenings if they're in our 7-county area. And then we also ask their age, because we follow the same guidelines that the American Cancer Society in terms of recommending women that are 40 and above. But if you have a history, a breast complaint, and a family history of breast cancer, we customize and certainly with a great deal of compassion try to ensure that if there's a concern that we'll address that case by case. Another factor is, again, as we've mentioned, if you have insurance, if your insurance will pay for your screenings and your tests, we say, please, access your insurance so that others can enjoy our services and the funding that we raise to do that. So really it's age, it's insurance, it's residency. And if you have a breast complaint, that we navigate you a little bit differently in terms of the manner and expeditious manner in which we handle those clients that come in. But basically it's financial income eligibility, and we use the federal poverty guidelines. We follow the same guidelines that this Medicaid Stop program utilizes, because again, that's what we want to align ourselves to ensure that if anyone unfortunately is diagnosed with breast cancer, there is treatment. And those women, as they are farther along in our continuum of care, where they're having diagnostics and biopsies, we do then do the income verification and assist them with getting in the Medicaid Stop program. And once they receive that entry into that program, then they can take their cancer treatment wherever they liked, in terms of anyone will accept that. And they can access Baptist Hospital, where we're partnering for our breast health services, and they can, get the care that they need. Our program also provides ongoing supplemental social services and other ancillary services that we offer, such as transportation. As I was showing you a little bit earlier, we provide everyone that comes to our screenings with these wonderful products that, again, it's about healing and feeling good during the process. Everyone kind of gets these nice little bags that have products in it, as well as information about just overall health. And we have a full bag full of literature because we try to provide as much education to everyone we meet. So when they go home, they can share this with their families. So it extends from a myriad of cancers, as well as our anti-tobacco products. I mean, our service line that we have in terms of education, prostate cancer. So everyone gets literature, and we then try to share as much as we can, because the goal is for each one of us to become better stewards of our health and to live a very long and happy life. So our objectives with this is to, again, fortify each woman with the knowledge and base so that they feel proud of what they've done in terms of taking advantage of our services, that they feel loved and respected, and that we honor them when they come through our program and respect each one of them. And for those that are diagnosed with cancer, as you've said, it's a family affair. Everyone's affected and impacted. So we offer monthly breast cancer support groups. We have another program called Active Living After Cancer. For those that ring the bell, that have finished their cancer treatment, we have been very fortunate to be a recipient of an MD Anderson CPRIT grant. And this program is an evidence-based program that shows this curriculum that was developed by MD Anderson will help you in a myriad of ways. It's nutritional, it's exercise, it's active in terms of what they have learned that will then keep you in a safer kind of position from recurring cancer. And it's a free class that we conduct, and you right now can live anywhere and participate because it is by Zoom. So we've got from Dallas that are part of our ALAC classes. And those are just a few of the programs that are really contoured to our educational outreach. And then we go to schools, churches, businesses, and contour our presentations for what your church might want to hear. Or we just went to a school with 4th and 5th graders and talked about don't vape your life away. And remarkably, as so many know, as you mentioned, there's a decrease in cigarette smoke, increase in terms of the vaping products, and it's a younger and younger age. So we are in the community trying to help you, again, have healthier lifestyle choices, and again, earlier detection of the breast and prostate cancer.
That is awesome, Norma. I mean, that is amazing. I knew a lot about the gift of life, but you have really shared more current things that outreach programs that you all have. So I love the fact that your program is centered around health, hope, and healing. And you definitely demonstrate that through your ancillary resources as well. You guys do a lot of special events as well. You want to talk about that?
We do. We have, we'll have different events that really celebrate survivorship. And we just finished that during the month of love of Valentine. This year we did, because of COVID still, we didn't do a luncheon. We did mail packages and love messages to our survivors, candy and cute socks, and really a message again about taking advantage of our educational outreach. And then we, during the month of February, kicked off random acts of kindness. So we ask everyone to find a way to do something nice for someone. And we showcased it on our Facebook page and kind of gave 5 stars to those and little badges for people that just did nice acts of kindness. So during the year, we'll have Survivor Celebration. And then we also have in October for breast and, actually September and October during National Ovarian and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we host a 5K walk run. For some of us, it's more of a saunter than a run or a walk, but we host that in downtown Beaumont. And it's been, this is our 13th year, and we had color before, but now, we dash color on the run, and we had about 6,000 participants in 21. Last year, this year, because in October with, again, COVID, we just did a monster dash. So it's the Saturday before Halloween. So everybody's in costumes, animals are dressed up, and we have fun candy stations and spectacular music and things along a 5K course. Had a wonderful survivor celebration as well there. And really it's about celebrating being together and loving one another and having a spirit of camaraderie and courage. So we do that in October. And then generally in April, and that's for our Breston program. And then in April, we usually have hosted Champagne and Ribs, which is the party of the year. Everybody loves it. It's about
Can't beat
16
that.
No, it's all the food and bubbly you can consume,
Yes.
and music and activities and a silent and live auction, and we have a truck
Uh-huh.
raffle. And so because of everything that was Omicron in the supply chain, we
Yeah.
have postponed it until next year, but we're doing a car raffle this year. So we're going
Wow.
to kick off a 2022 Toyota Highlander, fully loaded, white pearl
Wow.
white. And so we're selling $100 raffle tickets, and we'll have a big kickoff and parties to be
Nice.
promoting the ticket sales, and we'll be doing that this year. So those are some of the fun activities that, and then throughout the year, we have other grassroots initiatives. We have a reindeer campaign that our friends at Tricon, the Express Mart stores, there's 20 stores in Southeast Texas, and we have these adorable little reindeers, and they basically ask customers to buy them, and they're put up, and they make Christmas trees with them in their stores, and they raise nearly each year, it's at least $30,000 for our program, which is so such a wonderful gift during the holiday season for them to do the reindeer campaign.
Yeah.
And that's again with our friends at Express Mart. So, you know, we welcome grassroots initiatives. We're sort of just like, you know, you plan it, we'll be there, or we're just grateful for any of the support that individuals and businesses want to help us, again, be sustainable and provide for services.
Wow. Well, I personally know how busy you are. It seems like every time that I've tried to connect with you, you're meeting with a donor or you have a meeting. So I know how valuable your time is, and I know how valuable the organization is. So just to remind people, you guys service 30, let's see, 30, you've been in business for 30 years as an organization, and you service 7 counties within Southeast Texas, Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange, Texas. What else? I wanted to mention. There was one other thing.
We're redoing our website, so we're kind of under
That's
construction, but you can still find us at giftoflifebmt.org.
Okay.
But come back in a couple of weeks. We'll have a real fresh new look as well, but you can still find us that way. We have, you can go and there's ways to click and do if you want to volunteer, if you want
to donate.
If you want to donate, that's always appreciated. Yes, definitely.
And I'm sure time and talent will also come in handy if they would like to volunteer as well, right?
Always. We've got a group of students that are coming this Friday because these bags that I showed you with all these wonderful things, we're going to be doing this for our men's screenings that started.
Very nice.
So nice little feel-good products to, again, part of what we feel like is so important is certainly our services, but you know, we feel like the undertone should be one of love, compassion, and respect. And everyone's going through a lot and challenged so much now. And so if we can provide that for that moment in their life when they are entering our doors and they grace us with their care, then we want them to feel hugs and love.
Oh, I love it, Norma. I tell you, I participated in the 5K walk. I did not run. I definitely walked. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, because I think my mother had survived cancer twice at that time. So I tell you what, we're certainly going to have to participate in the Halloween one and come in costume.
Great, please do.
Well, thank you so much, Norma. Thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And for all of you ladies that are watching, thank you all for watching and joining us for season 2. If there are any topics that you would like for us to cover on the show, or better yet, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us at realtalkwitharlette.com and click Let's Talk. Until next time, ladies, I encourage you to be faithful, be fearless, but most importantly, just be yourself. Bye-bye.